Hey there, welcome to A Bit About, a Parabit Systems podcast. I am your host, Hilary Kennedy, and today's episode is going to explore leveraging security systems to drive value in retail. And giving us CEO's perspective on this will be Rob Leiponis, the president and CEO of Parabit Systems, which is a leading global provider of innovative hardware and software solutions serving critical infrastructure. And since founding the Long Island-based company in 1995, Rob has just driven the development of technology deployed by hundreds of financial institutions throughout North America and Europe. And Rob draws on some tremendous experience spanning 35 plus years collaborating with innovation labs of the top tier one financial institutions, as well as serving leading national, regional, and community banks and credit unions. A very busy guy. Thank you so much for joining me today, Rob.
Thank you, Hilary. Good morning, everybody.
All right, so I want to just dive right in. First of all, I want to start with viable use cases where integrated technology has the potential to transcend perceived application limitations for broader value within an organization. So, what are some ways that retail systems can improve customer experience and support modern targeted marketing opportunities?
Sure. Through the ability to do analytics and as well as demographic identification through surveillance systems, leveraging security systems to help retail organizations identify customers, identify patterns of purchases, traffic flows of people, are really powerful solutions. And, you know, security departments typically tend to be a cost center where retail is a profit center. So we find that many of our customers are now leveraging the demand and the use cases that can be provided by security systems for the security department in order to fund the expansion of some of these cameras that are getting much better and much more acute imagery of people's faces and their patterns as they move around retail environments or airport environments, as well as public facilities.
Well, and as we've seen, the pandemic, it escalated things in lots of ways, but it escalated a strong need for those mechanisms to control customer entrances, like you mentioned, of event or maybe at the airport, education, medical, retail, other types of facilities. So
Mhm.
credentialing, it's really expanded beyond just identification. So can you share how security solutions are vital in these current times?
Sure. Facial analytics has just been an incredible resource for law enforcement and as well as retail operations to be able to identify, um, anticipating, traffic flows of customers, crime events, and it's been, a powerful solution in many sectors out there to just help customers or help our retail departments be able to plan better resources as well as perform analytics in terms of identifying their flow of traffic of customers to be able to leverage uh, more targeted questions of consumers, like in a high-end retail environment where customers that come into the facility, that as they walk in, the cameras can identify them, and through integration with back-end systems, the actual retail staff can get notified of those people entering their facilities, so that way they can provide much higher levels of customer service, in really high-end store environments like a Nordstrom or a Neiman Marcus or a Macy's. Those types of environments would benefit greatly from using these types of analytics in order to better serve their customers, to give a much better customer experience, as well as still taking advantage of all the security features that come from these systems that can push out these analytics. Some of the more high-end partners that we deal with also have edge power built into the hardware that are driving these actual cameras and camera sensors, so that can actually do very rapid scans and identification of patterns and people as they're entering and exiting their facilities. So it's really provided, a much safer environment for people, as well as being able to identify patterns of customers and criminals. So it's just an invaluable source of a better lifestyle and a better customer service experience for all of us.
Well, I know you've touched on this a little bit. I would love for you to kind of further explain how having that more transparent communication and accountability between security and retail leads to that improved customer experience and operational efficiency, especially when it comes to things like background checks or watch list status or even contact tracing.
Right. I mean, through the analytics, I mean, as people are entering facilities as guests or visitors, and if they're validated or are entered into their database, their information could be associated with their analytics of their face as they enter a facility. So real-time background checks can be performed for, in high-risk areas on people that are entering facilities, so that way notifications can be sent out to security departments as well as law enforcement, that if in the event that there's someone that's on a watch list, that the local law enforcement as well as federal can respond very quickly to mitigate any type of high-end risk that could cause a hideous crime or event.
That does give you a valuable peace of mind.
Mhm.
When it comes to systems like this, cost is always a factor. So how does investment in integrated technology solutions that support multiple departments, how does that provide cost-effective value?
Well, it's a big deterrent on losses that retail organizations are experiencing, as well as you know attacks on different types of consumers and tourists. So there's really, you can't put a price tag on that for the cost, and plus with the pricing of surveillance systems have come down dramatically over the years. So to be able to utilize and leverage that type of technology to provide a safer environment, you really can't put a price tag on it. But I mean, the systems that are available are out there and provide incredible analytics to be able to leverage incredible experiences for consumers, for their staff, provides a lot better transitions transparency in terms of identifying a customer, being able to back end a profile on that customer. So when that customer walks in and the retailer is notified, that you can target more important questions on how to really engage that person to have a much more successful sales experience with them.
I love it. And I think, to your point, all of us have become very hyper aware of what environments seem safe, especially after the past, year and a half. Safety's at the forefront of everybody's mind. So that is
Mhm.
very helpful. And Rob, Parabit, it is the fourth company that you founded, which is amazing. And it serves 5 out of the world's top 10 financial institutions and 14 of the top 15 US retail banks. That's
Mhm.
incredible. So you have
Thank
been
you.
offering these niche solutions to banks for years, but you recently released the Parabit MMR 2.0 with Bluetooth. I want to hear about this cutting edge solution.
Oh, it's an amazing solution that we've gotten huge demand from recent trade shows that we've attended on it, where we're creating a retail access control environment where for high-end stores and for our banking community, the user experiences, customers can scan a QR code on the front of a building, download their information, take a picture of their driver's license, do an instant background check on that person, and they can be issued a credential to enter a facility. So it provides, basically, we're in the process of moving visitor management out to the storefronts of the building. So it provides a lot more flexibility in the utilization of building lobbies as well as entranceways of buildings. And it also, taking that credentialing of those people as they walk into a facility, we have APIs that integrate to digital signage displays, teller platforms, DVR systems, ATMs, that you can now change the content on those technologies as that person comes in, based upon their demographics or based upon their financial portfolio that's assigned to them through the financial institution. The same application could be used in high-end retail stores, where they have a lot of incidents where they're smash and grabs, where they come into a store, grab a bunch of merchandise, where now you can install an access control system and provide better security for your staff as well as mitigate losses. So it provides, the integration of this technology is similar to the analytics of cameras and the systems, where you can know your customer better, you can better position your staff to be more successful in their sales experience during their workday. So there's a lot of development, and there's other future use cases that we've come across by collaborating with some of our clients that we're adding to our backlog list to develop into the system as we get ready to release it.
That's amazing. And, what great peace of mind, like you mentioned, for the employees who work at these businesses to know that that sort of technology is available.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. So we've kind of seen over the past year and a half, especially retail habits, they've changed, and the industry is really searching for the new retail experience that kind of keeps everybody engaged. So can you touch on some of the trends that you're seeing in the industry?
Well, I see a consolidation in the size of retail stores to a smaller form factor, where some of those retail stores are becoming distribution hubs for their goods. More technology can be implemented in those facilities to better help those customers, with their purchases, and as well as cross-selling them on other systems, or other products that that consumer may be interested in. A lot of self-service retail storefronts, like the Amazon platform, where you can walk into a store, and if you lift something off the shelf and you have it in your hand for more than 15 seconds, you basically have purchased it. So there's a lot of new and creative ways to help people self-serve themselves in public environments to minimize contact with service personnel, as well as just to keep the world safer. There's less contact. Unfortunately, that's the world that we're going into, and what we're becoming. Unfortunately, I hope this is the last of what we're experiencing with COVID, but I doubt it very much. But we just need to focus on minimizing the amount of human touch points that are, so that way we can all keep ourselves a lot safer than we have been in the past.
Right. And the self-service, sometimes you're just not in the mood to do the small talk about the weather. So sometimes it's nice to
Exactly.
be able to make the purchase on your own and go about your day. Well, that is actually going to do it for this episode of A Bit About. Thank you, Rob Leiponis, the president and CEO of Parabit Systems. Thanks so much for joining me today and sharing a CEO's perspective on all of this.
Thank you, Hilary. You're great. And I appreciate everybody who's been able to attend the podcast. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again to all our listeners, the people watching. Thanks for joining us for this episode. We appreciate it. So if you'd like to see more episodes of the podcast and stay up to date with our future episodes, make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll be back soon with another episode. But until then, I've been your host, Hilary Kennedy. Thanks for joining us.